We are about to drop the hook.
Good job, proud of you.
Welcome to the Canary Islands, specifically the stunning island of Lanzarote. We've just sailed over 300 nautical miles in the Atlantic Ocean from Madeira, another beautiful island we visited recently. If you missed that adventure, you can check it out right here. During our sail, Shawn mentioned that we used to be Marina balerinas while cruising the Mediterranean.
We were Marina balerinas during our time hanging out in the Med for the most part. So y'all, we are happier than a three-peckered goat to be back on the hook.
We're thrilled to be spending as much time as possible anchored in serene spots. And here's a little teaser. Today's sailing episode wouldn't be complete without some sipping with Shawn to look forward to. Plus, we'll be answering some juicy Patreon questions you won't want to miss. So stay tuned all the way throughout as we sail back into Anchorage life. And to be honest, our 600 nautical mile journey out of the Mediterranean, navigating through Orca Zone, and spending 6 days at sea to reach Madeira, followed by our 300-mile passage to the Canaries. Some R&R at anchor sounds perfect. Marina life has its perks. Convenient showers and laundry facilities, no dinghy rides just for a daily walk, grocery stores within easy reach, and effortless access to electricity and water. It is comfortable and easy, but we truly prefer the adventure of life on the anchor. It's not just free in cost, but it also offers a sense of freedom you cannot find in a marina, even with other boats nearby. The privacy is unmatched. So today, as we left Marina Lanzarote in Arrecife with the wind whipping around us, we felt more ready than ever to get back out on the anchor.
Y'all, we're making our way out of Marina Lanzarote. There's a very long entrance that twists and turns, and there's a specific canal path you have to follow to get out of here, so it's a little bit tricky. I damn sure wouldn't want to be coming through here at night. There's also a strong current coming through here. About to be underway again. I'm going to take a look at a couple places to drop the hook. As we mentioned in our previous video, the anchorages here in the Canary Islands are kind of spotty sometimes. They're not well protected and sometimes can be pretty rolly and subject to the winds depending on directions. We got about 3 options for anchorages. Hopefully we can find one that's suitable for us to dip in and drop the hook. I'm going to bring y'all along with us as we head down to the southeast coast of the island of Lanzarote.
All right, y'all, we are about to drop the hook, get on this anchor, and it already feels amazing to be out of the marina. excited to have finally arrived at our new anchorage. On our way here, we did check out another spot that we considered staying for a few days, but it didn't feel well protected from the elements, and Shawn definitely was not feeling it. So he made the call to keep going until we reached this location, and we're so glad he did. When we arrived, Shawn scouted the area and picked the perfect spot to drop the hook. Even though this anchorage is as protected as they come, setting the anchor was still a bit of an adventure, if you know what I mean, especially with the wind gusting in the mid-20s. While Shawn definitely made it look easy, for someone like me with no prior boating or sailing experience before starting this grand adventure, maneuvering the boat in these windy conditions as he dropped the anchor was definitely an on-the-job learning experience. Each anchorage brings a unique experience, and no two are ever the same. I'm quickly realizing that every day offers something new to learn, whether it's about how our boat handles or just the art of boating itself as we continue our circumnavigation. This epic adventure is a constant learning journey, and I don't think I'll ever stop discovering new things along the way. Setting the anchor firmly is crucial. We definitely don't want to wake up and find our floating home drifting away. And there's nothing quite like the peace of mind that comes from crawling into bed at night, knowing your anchor is securely set. Okay, I do believe that we have just successfully anchored for the first time in the Canary Islands. Let's look around. Yeah, we're anchored. It's beautiful here. Look at that landscape. We came around this corner and came right in here to where we are now. This water is so beautiful. It is gorgeous. Baby, we made it.
Made it. Anchor is set. We're in about 40 feet of water. Good stuff. We're got room to swing in any direction. We're good. Good job. Proud of you.
Thank you. That breeze feels good. Even though it's pretty windy, it doesn't feel rolly in here. And just like that, with the anchor finally set, we could at last unwind and soak in the beauty of the anchorage. I decided to stretch out on deck, letting the sun sink in, listening to the waves and the distant beachgoers. After all the miles we've covered, being back on the hook feels like a real achievement. This is exactly the kind of freedom we envisioned when we set out to sail around the world. And Shawn, in true Shawn fashion, would soon join in the relaxation too, cracking open a bottle of bourbon for a celebratory sip, a well-earned reward. This is what we've worked for: the adventure, the freedom, and the satisfaction of living life anchored out on our own terms.
All right, y'all. Well, it's Cockpit 30 here aboard good old Tela, and it is time for some sipping with Shawn. We have made it out of the marina. As I said in our last video, we've been marina ballerinas for way too long, and we are finally back on the hook. And we couldn't be more excited to be back on the hook. Being out here in nature, these beautiful surroundings, this is what it's all about. It's just like a sore pecker. You just can't beat it. So I think I'm gonna get into some good old Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve solid. I've had Woodford before. This is the regular Woodford Reserve Distiller Select. Very solid, nice bottle. Gonna pop this cork and get into it, but before we do that, let's see what the distiller actually says about this juice. Now, the distiller says, y'all, the perfectly balanced taste of our Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is comprised of more than 200 detectable flavor notes, from bold grain and wood to sweet aromatic spice and fruit and floral notes. Now, y'all, I'm just an old simple country boy, but that might be a little suspect to me. 200 detectable notes? Hell, I believe you'd have to have the nose and the senses of a bloodhound tracking dog to be able to detect 200 distinct notes. But anyway, that sounds awful nice and fancy. Let's see what they say specifically about the nose, the palate, and the finish. They say here on the nose, it's heavy with rich dried fruit, hints of mint and oranges, covered with a dusting of cocoa, faint vanilla, and tobacco spice. And on the taste, here's what they say: rich, chewy, rounded, and smooth with complex citrus, cinnamon and cocoa, toffee, caramel, chocolate, and spice notes abound. Don't that sound like something? Now on the finish, they say this here juice is silky smooth, almost creamy at first, with a long, warm, satisfying tail. Don't that sound nice? Let's pop this cork and get into it, y'all. Pretty weak. Oh, that's nice, y'all. Yeah, on the nose, I do get a little bit of that orange, little faint vanilla, a little bit of that dried fruit. I don't get any tobacco. Oh, that's nice. Let's give her a pour. Y'all, it's an absolutely stunning early evening here in the Canary Islands. Perfect for a sip, so cheers, y'all, to your health. Definitely get those hints of citrus, a little toffee, get a little bit of that caramel note, with just a tad bit of cinnamon as well. Really nice. I didn't get any chocolate, but I definitely get the citrus, the cinnamon, a little toffee, a little caramel. Y'all, it's super nice, super well-rounded. You just can't beat some good old Woodford Reserve. Let's give her one more sip here, y'all. Oh yeah, finish is really nice. I'd say it's a medium finish. Super solid, man. You just can't beat some good old Woodford Reserve. This is good all day, every day, and twice on Sunday, y'all.
Y'all, a bit later, we cooked up some burgers with Gouda cheese and some potato salad. A good old American summer night kind of meal in the Canary Islands. We cranked up the music, listening to a mix of some Hank Williams Jr., Leonard Skinner, and even some Oliver Anthony music. You can take the Southerners out of the South, but not the South out of the Southerners. And as the sun began to set, the dayboaters left, and it was just us and a handful of others left to ourselves to enjoy a cool, crisp Spanish evening in the gorgeous Anchorage. What a time to be alive and sailing around the world. We feel incredibly blessed. It's around 6:30. Good morning, y'all. It is our first morning on the anchor here in this Anchorage. Crisp feeling out here. It feels amazing. I love being on the anchor. I feel like now we're going to be able to be on the anchor a whole lot more now that we're out of the area of the med that we were in. My goal is to be on the anchor like 20 to 25 days out of the month. That way you can easily get all your laundry done all at one time, do like a big provision for the month, just do any stuff that would be easily done through the marina, then get the heck out of there and get our tails back on the anchor. Day 2 of life on the anchor in the Canary Islands started with getting the Dinghy Down off the davits and a trip to shore to stretch our legs. Mostly it was for Delilah girl though. She does have a mat on board that she happily goes potty on, but she loves a dinghy ride to shore. were back from our beachy activities, Shawn wanted to take a look at the hull to see how badly she may have needed a cleaning. But would y'all just take a look at how good she looks? Barely anything on the hull at all.
Excellent.
Really?
The rudder needs to be clicked off. If you can give me those ear pads, earplugs.
Okay. Shawn did, however, want to give the rudder a little bit of a scrub though, after he had me grab his earplugs and a scrub brush. Alright y'all, so we are here on the Anchor. We have been loving life being on the Anchor again, but we actually have some Patreon questions that we're going to go ahead and answer. We gave our patrons the option to ask us anything and we were going to answer select Patreon questions. We're going to do that now. So if y'all are interested, we're going to be doing this ever so often. Definitely click the link in the top of the screen or down in the description box for Patreon if you want to be able to ask us anything that could potentially be featured on our channel in an upcoming video. Alright, so let's just get right into the questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. What advice would you give to aspiring sailors on preparing to get underway? What was something that was not clear or emphasized enough in your preparation and lived experience?
I think one of the biggest things for us is we underestimated the extent to which you should provision and stock up on dry goods and things that have canned goods, things that have a very long shelf life. Mm-hmm. We actually watched some other cruising videos and some people seem to say that you don't need to take a lot of stuff because you can find most of what you need out there in other countries. And we actually found that to be the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. You can't find the U.S. brands that you're used to in some places for staple items. And beyond that, things are exponentially more expensive outside the U.S. For example, in the Bahamas, we got complete eye-opening sticker shock provisioning.
Yeah, like a can of black beans was over $6 in the Bahamas. A gallon of milk that wasn't even like a specialty milk or organic, just a regular gallon, was over $15 in the Bahamas.
Yeah. So obviously you can't take milk with you. You could take dry milk, powdered milk, stuff like that. But staples like canned goods, soup, stuff that lasts for a couple years, you should go to Sam's, Costco, and get cases of that stuff and stack it somewhere on your boat. Take all the stuff that you can. Obviously, you can't pack enough to do a whole circumnavigation, but you can pack enough to last you a good while and it'll save you a good bit of money. Second part of that question is, one thing I think that is super underestimated is the cost of trying to get spare parts for your boat in other countries. They're exponentially more expensive by and large than they are in the U.S. And if you have to have it shipped in, the customs expenses are astronomical, and the customs expenses can actually cost more than the item you have shipped in some places. So I think the lesson there is to stock up on every single spare part that you think that you may need for your boat. Get it while you're in the States before you leave and store it on the boat.
100%. All right, the next question says, are you planning a Pacific crossing including French Polynesia?
The answer to that would be definitely yes. We are circumnavigating the globe one wave at a time. We are definitely going to be crossing the Pacific into French Polynesia. We'll also be crossing the Indian Ocean. And by the time we finish our circumnavigation, we will have crossed the Atlantic Ocean not once, not twice, but 3 times, Cheryl.
Yep. The next question, pretty juicy. Would you ever post content that included nudity? Have you ever considered starting an OnlyFans? I'll answer this one. No way, Jose. Not gonna happen. No, that is not for us. Absolutely not. And the final question of the day, children sometime in the future, question mark? Shawn actually is a father. He has a son already in college at LSU, but as far as Shawn and I together, we are having this great, big, wonderful experience of sailing around the world together. We're on this epic adventure, and children are not on our radar. We are solely focused on circumnavigating the globe, living out this experience on the daily, one wave at a time. And that is going to close out our Patreon questions for the day. But if you want the opportunity to ask us anything, to potentially get your question answered on a future YouTube video, then definitely consider checking out our Patreon. I'll have it linked in the top of the video and down in the description box. We also post on Patreon exclusive content almost every single day that you are not going to see elsewhere, not on YouTube, not on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, only on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, that is linked down below for y'all. So that's going to conclude today's sailing video. But if you made it this far in the video, leave us a comment below and say hashtag STR or hashtag sailing Telaroo and let us know that you made it all the way here. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Give us a big thumbs up, and remember that if you want to see our content right here on YouTube every single Friday, then hit that subscribe button. And we'll see y'all next time on Sailing Telaroo.